Hey, here you go. D&D time. Who would have funked it?
D&D.
D&D indeed. Yep. Even gonna show up? I don't know. Chadwick is not gonna show up. That's certain.
Great, we hear. The vibe.
The vibe, indeed. Yes.
We're also missing Chadwick.
Yes, Chadwick is gonna be away.
Yeah, we got a heads up from him. It's helping his mother. It's allowable. Excusable.
Because a bunch of plumbers can't do stuff. Anyway, second. So, I got a simple question to ask. The same question I ask every single week. How's everybody? Are you ready to begin? Buddy?
Yes. Yes.
Very cool. You know what's the best part? Next week I'll have to find another mod for this one is gonna fucking shit the bed. Because Discord doesn't want us to have nice things. Oh, that's cool. So, well, what really has transpired since last time? Not really much, honestly. Optimizing the inventory. And I guess making plans for the future. You didn't really much do last session, did you? Just a lot of talking.
Last session was basically
Valhalla.
dealing with the aftermath of a lot of things.
Yes. And now, technically, you have time. A lot of time to yourselves. You do what you wish, as you have a whole fortress still in need of renovations, and you can do whatever you want to pass the time.
Yeah, given the dragon's busy and we can't do much building.
Yes.
Then I know what I'm going to spend the day doing, unless someone else has an idea. I'm going to spend the day and construct some good old new weaponry ideas with Arthur. We're gonna be constructing some new warfare.
Is there anything particular you would ask of Arthur?
I think like as he's doing it, I'll probably ask him to start like explaining how this stuff works, so I can kind of get up to speed.
Can you specify what you mean by stuff?
Guns, particularly guns.
Oh,
not his programming.
roll me 2 intelligence checks and 2 intelligence saving throws.
That's gonna keep my interest out.
Sure
Be
thing.
there just in case you guys need heavy lifting.
Oh no, Baron is gonna be busy. Gonna have a very half-hearted discussion with Arthur.
Half-hearted? I'm gonna be full-hearted. I don't know about him though.
No. He's gonna be full-hearted to begin with. Let's see. Jesus fucking Christ, never mind. Jesus fucking Christ, never mind.
Yeah, because of my intelligence. Let me do saving throws.
Wait, where did you get advantage from?
Magic bullshit. If I'm spending the whole day doing this, I got plenty of spell slots to burn for it.
Any particular magic?
Yes. It's enhance ability.
I see.
Duration of yeah, it's long duration.
Yeah. Jesus.
This one has to be flat roll. I don't got anything special for saving rolls. Not long enough, at least.
But you get to add your charisma modifier,
Woo, thank you. I forgot about that.
which
True
should
and real.
be like plus 8 or 9.
Holy shit. Whoa. So, can you just roll me a history check as well? Seeing as you maintain quite a lot of, and with advantage actually on this, because you maintain quite good of a conscience, like quite a good of understanding what he's.
That's a nat 20 with a
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so to give a quick summary of essentially the world that is trying to modernize in the ways of warfare in Verga. Over the past 4 centuries or so, concept of gunpowder was start to influence it in forms of naval warfare using cannonballs and cannons. Eventually, that deformed into more steady defense for siege engines. And about 150 years ago, developments on muskets, portable, single shot, essentially hand cannons to be used for specialized units in specific situations. Of course, the spread of this type of warfare was very dim and slow. For why would you need gunpowder, a region that is flammable and volatile and predictable, when you have the whole 9 yards of Arcana to explore, which spells can replicate anything your petty gunpowder can. So, and mere several years ago, actually 8 years ago, you exactly know, there's been a revolution in gunsmithing, as there was a transition from quite simple open gunpowder and ball shot method to sealed metal casings. While not very predictable depending on the manufacturer, it has become more powerful, more practical, and more used, but also not very widespread. Through tales of Arthur and his understanding of gunpowder and how machining, gunsmithing works, you come to this epiphany that if the world would continue the same pace as it went and basically come to our first understanding of gunpowder, guns, and whatnot, you would need to toll maybe a century or so. You give us a quick rundown of how most common gunpowders, the smokeless gunpowder used by Norn, has been produced, manufactured, the calculations of grain in conjunction power and the velocity and the weight of the bullet. And essentially you were given a very simple but very easy to understand concept of how your weapons work. The ones that have been for centuries past, the ones that are considered revolutionary for some, and those of ones that have been used by Norn. That being a bolt action, semi-automatic, and full automatic weapon.
Question. Being the divine smith that I am, and I kind of have a grasp of guns, how would my character wager that a design like this could be improved by magic? Because Arthur understands the mechanical side of things. But Farron was raised in a world of magic, where magic was the science.
With the intelligence checks in history, you understand that Norn, like many other things, came from a non-magical society where there were not creatures that were really immune to sharp metal firing extremely fast. Ways to improve using magic is, of course, enchanting the bullets to essentially deliver different types of uh, magics. The the question of what's it called accuracy, rate of fire, and how it works is answered through Arthur's insight. But power, artificial power that would hurt something that is not exactly natural, is of question.
Can I make a smithing check then?
You don't need to make a smithing check. For all intents and purposes, you could see two ways quite easily how you could improve it just staring at this concept. It's same with bows and arrows. Normal bows and arrows will not pierce a demon that is immune to piercing damage. So either you enchant the bow, the arrow, or both. With guns, it's the gun or the bullet or both. As for exactly the most optimal, well, for the most optimal choice of what you should enchant, it's not exactly clear because you don't exactly know what creature you might face. Of course, the first thing that rings in your mind is, of course, divine damage, the literal essence of gods that would essentially tear your enemies to shreds with no
We had
counter.
to guns.
With no counter to counteract the damage, but to infuse divinity into a gun, into bullets, even with as much as you know as a newborn smith with the inside what would proceed for millennia or even up to an eon, you have really no clue on the matter.
We'll need to bring in more experts the next day. But that's what my character did for the day.
So, Arthur and Farron essentially are busy with their own little pursuits, or I guess little impromptu seminar on guns and how they work. Brett, Virgil.
Quite frankly, I don't know who to talk to for this information. But it's probably important information to have. I need to find information on the care and keeping of dragons. Because to put it simple.
Yeah, who would you ask for this? That's a good question.
I don't know. I guess I'll go to Karis.
Okay, and you do find him, as usual, uninterrupted in his own little place, surrounded by a small pile, almost like a river of coin, carefully playing with it, but of course at attention immediately when he approached.
Karis, we have a few new residents, and I think we need a book on how to take care of them. How would I find a book on what dragons need? Caring for dragons, pretty much.
Let me roll a 20. Let me see. It scratches its claws against its tail a bit, almost like a cat to a side of a tree, and looks at you blankly and says, "Where do you find a book? A library? You should go there." And then looks to one of the halls and just sighs, "Oh yes, it is empty. A different library, yes."
Well, actually, that gives me a good idea. Perhaps I should talk to Britt about this. Thanks for the help. You gave me an idea on what to do.
It nods proudly.
I'm going to go to Britt.
Okay.
Where would I find Britt?
Britt's just milling about. Just making sure everybody's doing alright.
Well, Sergal finds Britt milling about, and he walks up to her and asks, "Hey, Britt, want to go with me to buy some books?" We need books.
Got a place in mind?
No, I was asking you to come because maybe we could check different places. I don't particularly know where to look for books for sale.
No, I'm sure any decently sized city or town would have a place where you can find those kind of books.
Perhaps, gosh, I can't remember the name of it now. Perhaps Olash. I would probably, that's a big town. They probably have books for sale, right?
Very true. Well, that is a bit of a ways off, even with my flying.
True, but it's not like we have anything to do today. Unless you had something planned. If that's the case, then I would just need some money and I could go.
Oh, I mean, we could always ask our. No, I don't think you do go to Halash. Might as well ask the wizard friends while I go grab money from the treasury then. See if he can't get us to Olash.
Sergal nods and walks off to find... I just cannot do names today.
Leo.
Leo.
Yeah, you can clearly find him in the mess hall, seemingly sitting. Can you give me an insight check?
Of course.
Of course. He seems to be daydreaming, staring at the wall. You see this almost look of nostalgia. He seems to be reminiscing about something. Until all of a sudden he just kind of shakes his head a bit, looks around and sees you. lifts a wooden cup and then drinks its contents.
Could I bother you for a bit of traveling?
He nods almost immediately. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, is it not?
Of course, just like to ask. I'm needing to go to Olash. Might bring Brit. Brit might come along. And I was... Well, you probably have teleportation there, don't you?
Oh yeah. Where do you want to go?
Is there any place that would have books for sale? We have a library and nothing in it.
He gives you a look. He gives you a look that one would give, like an actual grown old adult would give to a child. He smiles softly, but there is this... Can you roll another insight?
Is it... Hold on. Is it the Platinum Seas? Just...
Oh, no. He is very amused or maybe a bit insulted that you look at him, a wizard, somebody who needed to learn from books about magic and arcana, to ask if he knows where he can get books. But nevertheless, he answers quickly, I do. Several places.
Perfect. Where would you suggest?
Well, that depends. What do you need exactly?
For a specific book currently, something with dragons, about dragons, how to take care of them.
Squints his eyes a bit. Oh yeah, the eggs. I got something for that. He looks through his cloak and pulls out of one of the pouches what seemed to be a small bag. Barely could fit a thumb or like 2 fingers in it. As he slightly opens it up, 6 2 fingers, and from it he pulls out a very how do I say this? He pulls out a very tight scroll that is about the size of him and just kind of softly places it on the table. And kind of softly taps it twice before with his finger starts to slowly unravel it. I see we peer into the massive parchment, right?
Yes, I do.
In the massive piece of parchment, there are the first thing you can recognize are not pictures, not painting, something more primitive. Almost like what you
It's a
assume
Sunday morning cartoon.
it is what you assume a child would draw. What they assume is a dragon, several dragons, and it seems to be, how do I say this? It's about 6 foot tall and about 20 feet wide piece of parchment that goes through a handful of tables, and it seems to be a guide of sorts. Do you know Draconic by chance?
I do not.
Do you try to read it nonetheless? Just try to like see if you get any.
Why not? Should I roll
No.
history or just intelligence?
You peer into the page for a few seconds, looking to see if you can find anything that is not draconic, until all of a sudden, Leo just taps you on the shoulder and nudges something in front of you. It seems that he has provided you with these blue tinted glasses. Kind of looks up at you and says, "For reading." He is not familiar with the language.
I nod my thanks and put them on.
Can you roll me a simple intelligence check with advantage?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw and an insight?
Hold on, I gotta double check something. Oh no, it's a wisdom saving throw, so
Wisdom saving
do you get
throw
to add
and
my
insight.
charisma to it?
Woo! And
That is
insight.
a- Oh,
Yeah.
and insight. Oops.
Jesus fucking Christ. Well, as you start to read, where Leo immediately points where it is the star, which starts at the bottom right, it is essentially a depiction of several different broods of dragons. How they have been taken care of. From their inception in the eggs to essentially their trials into adulthood. And this little scroll, or this massive actual scroll, describes how to essentially raise red, blue, white, black, green, and silver dragons. As of course you find the most resounding one, you look in question of the fire ones, of the red ones. As you start to read the passages through, which are few sentences that just reading at the first, like just reading them at the start, you feel like they would not give you much insight of what to do with them, as they are just 2-3 sentences. All of a sudden, you feel like you read and feel through someone else's mind, as if you no longer are Sergal, but you are someone else. You
So not only am I reading it, I am also reading the writer's intent behind it.
Yes, but you really don't have any clue of what or who or when it is. You don't get any grasp of who's the author, but you can feel its intent. So, as it goes for the red dragon, for hatching, the approximate temperature that would be sufficient for hatching once the egg is fertile and safe is somewhere next to scalding temperatures of such flesh. Once they are born, hatched, They're self-sufficient on their X contents for about 2 days. Afterwards, they need a sufficient diet of burnt charcoal and meat. There's no currency to meat, but as you roll the 30, you know that the offer almost instinctually favors boar, as the red dragons seem to prefer sweeter type of meat. And I don't know how to tell you the circle, but because you roll so much, you realize something, that technically you will need to feed just the whelplings daily supply of charcoal and meat, preferably boar, for about 3 years until anything else on the parchment is relevant. Nevertheless, they want to continue to see the path of the red dragon.
Yeah, might as well.
At age 3, they will become extremely prideful and bashful. They will try to challenge you into bouts with intent of dominating you but not hurting you. If they are multiple red dragons, brothers and sisters specifically, they will do that about themselves. So if you have multiple, you essentially lock down. But if you are a singular person, there's a delicate balance of how much force you must use to essentially make sure that the red dragon does not believe you're but a slave to it, but not enough that it rebels out of fear of your abuse and scorches you or scorches your surroundings. About 18 years after hatching, the red dragon will have acquired many different traits depending on its descendants. Arrogance is one of the most common ones, which can be quelled with humility sometimes. And if you bestow the relationship with the dragons up to this point, it will try to prove its superiority by bringing you gifts. And there is a warning from offers, personal accounts from your perception, that most of its bolsterous tokens of gratitude towards you, if all goes well, will be slain bodies. Sheep, elk, or humanoid creatures. A dead body is a dead body, and it will present to you as a token of its gratitude. So provided to say, if you are still with the red dragon up to this point, live somewhere remotely, or be with people in your surroundings that know when to hide. About 90 years after its hatching, the trial shall become prevalent, as the young dragon has reached its final stages of development and wishes to carve out a home for itself, somewhere warm with intense heat. A volcano would be suitable, but alas, this world does not have many, as the offer would dictate. At this point, the red dragon might say its farewells with you. May it be an honest and direct or it may be subtly and stealthily, but it eventually will depart. Flee not from you, but pursue, not out of fleeing you, but out of pursuit of its new purpose. And because you're old 30, the offer written the final few things about its leaving, the Red Dragon leaving, there is somberness, there's sadness. It remembers of a dragon that grew with her for over a century. Several of them, in fact, but eventually, one by one, if all fled, never to be seen again, at least at the point of when this paper, this parchment, was created. So yeah, that is about the red dragons. Their path from being a whelp just hatched to essentially mature enough to trying to pursue its own.
Sergil will like pull off the glasses. Was that a property of the glasses or the paper?
Leo just looks at you and just nods. Aye, the paper. Glasses are just a way to read any language you can look upon through it, so you can have that. They're not exactly useful for me, seeing as I can easily comprehend
Already
any.
know them?
Not really, but I know spells that can basically do that. I'm not really a fan of glasses. Whenever I take a pair of them, they always crack, break, or get a piece of shard somewhere next to my retina. Jeez.
Ooh. Sergil will nod and then look back at the paper. And what about this? Do you want this back, or would it be okay to put it in the library?
You want to roll me persuasion with that?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Leo looks at the piece of parchment, strokes his chin for a bit, looks back at the paper and nods. I'm willing to donate this parchment, but this is a big piece of paper. You would need quite a bit of a place to hold it. If you get it done, well, I have no obligations to give it to the library. It is empty last I saw. Assume it still is it? Or is it filled with books?
Still empty. That's part of the reason why I was asking you about bookstores. I needed a I needed a bit of reading material on dragons, and the library's empty.
Well, if you wish to pursue any other means of insight into dragons, there have been at least. Let me see. Can you remember?
I think so. I think you can.
There have been at least 70 books, tomes, etc., research papers about dragons, and all kinds of subjects regarding to them. From their thought, to their speech, to their powers, to how to be one. Kind of looks at you and smile.
Sergil grins back.
It kind of turns fully to you. I did never ask, because I was kind of in the moment, didn't really know where it was heading. How did you like being a dragon?
Sergal will think on it a moment. It's hard to grasp. Like, it was exhilarating, but also kind of crap. That den was nowhere near the right size for that dragon.
Oh, yes. I was kind of panicking and I decided to go full out. And I kind of mixed a bit in my head. And you kind of came this sort of hybrid thing. If you really wish to become a dragon again, I could make you a whelpling for about a decade, a small little dragon for about a year, you know, a youngish adult one for maybe 2 weeks, an ancient dragon for maybe an hour, and whatever that was, and other different modifications for about a minute.
That is one impressive spell you have.
It's less of a spell, more of a spell. Several people, my colleagues know of them. When you dream long enough about a subject, you start to think, why can't you just match? And some do, and some are just stuck halfway. Seems to just sigh in sadness for a bit.
If you seem to think you are halfway, I think this is a lot further than half. This is, again, spells within spells. With my limited knowledge of magic, that is quite the feat. Sergal is just actively trying to cheer Leo up a little right now.
He extends his hand towards it, snaps his fingers, and all of a sudden a silver mirror appears, and from it you see outside, just what you assume is literally outside the key. You see forest, and he just kind of looks at it, looks back, and as you can see, you're here. You traveled here, your companions did. You are paladins, like many martial folk. You traverse the lands, do your things, like beasts and monsters, while us more scholarly types that have been dedicated to the ways of the quill and the page for decades, some may even centuries. He kind of looks around the room. This is what they see. Well, maybe a bit nicer, actually, but a bit more nicer. But they don't travel. They don't go anywhere. They stay within the confines of stone, or wood, or some manifestation of both, and they learn to bend reality. You have no idea how many people with the power to change fate and all kinds of aspects of it wish to be free, while in reality they could just walk out. It's actually quite like the pen of sheep that are stuck in the pen for a very long time, but when you move the boundaries of the pen, the sheep will stay inside, not move outside the boundaries that were made so long ago. It looks at you. Don't mind me rambling. So, is that the only book you seek, or you seek something more on top of it? A library is not but one scroll. No.
Circle nods in agreement. I think this book serves my purpose, although I have no doubt that we will be needing more books, so I can think of a couple that some of our friends might like.
I will seek out some of my still in good terms acquaintances and see if they can provide with some books, literature, and whatnot. Random, trivial knowledge. Books for enjoyment, not much for learning. Try to have a
Maybe
handful
a
of books.
few books for learning.
Check about it. S-
You, Leo, are a lifesaver. Thank you. And Circle kind of claps Leo on the shoulder and walks off, probably to the forge. Because the eggs are still there, aren't they?
Yeah, the eggs are still there.
One thing that I didn't think to really read into on the page, what kind of incubation period, or like how long does it take for a dragon egg to hatch?
Oh yeah, I didn't even notify that. Technically, you would know that it would take about a year. Mind you, it was from the beginning of, when the egg was...
From when they were laid,
Yes.
pretty much.
So you have really no clue how much time there is.
Could I inspect the shell? Like a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Roll me 4 different investigation checks. Also, for the people in the chat, yes, I am the DM. I usually don't say much to the chat when I DM, but it is what it is. Thank you for the raid, by the way. Thank you. The first day gives you some insight, while the other ones are just basically this mesh, this hardened shell.
It's an egg.
Yeah, it is an egg that is extremely warm, and if you touch for long, you literally feel your skin burning up. The first egg, however, you kind of feel it touch it, and you see occasionally you see in all of them, movement, eggs, or whatnot. You do feel the first egg. There's a twitch or something very subtle happens in the shell. Slightly expands, but not like severe, but like just kind of sensation.
Like something pushes up against the
Yes.
inside.
Can you... No, you would not need to roll. You would know, at the very least, that it will happen soon. You're not at the beginning of the cycle or at the end. Could it be weeks, days? Could be.
Don't really know what to do past here.
Brett, anything you wish to do?
Are we going or not?
Yes. I talked to Leo. He first of all, I found a little information on dragon raising, which is what I originally wanted. I think one of the eggs, at least one, is going to hatch within the next couple of weeks, maybe.
Huh?
I'm going to assume that the rest of the eggs are younger. Just so I'm not rushing around trying to care for all of them with no rhyme or reason. But other than the dragons, oh god, I didn't get an answer from him about getting us to Olash. I should have done that.
Oh then. Well, I do have to go into town too, so the faster we can get that going, the better.
Yes, he didn't seem terribly busy, so we can probably just go peek in on him again and ask for a ride.
Alright, I'm going to take the lead on this one and go ask Leo and say, hey, Leo, looking to require your services. You need to go into Olash for a few supplies.
Looks at you.
Sergal would peek his head in behind Brit. Yes, I forgot to get an answer for you on that. Could you... And he kind of motions with his hands, like, do the thing.
Leo strokes his chin yet again. So where do you exactly want me to take you?
Oh, we were hoping Olash.
Yeah, specifically. Olash is kind of big.
Mostly just the general market area.
Alrighty.
This place seems to be lacking of food, and I would like to have some stocked cupboards.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is that only two of you?
I think so. Arthur and Farron are banging away.
Yep. Quick. Actually, no. I'm gonna use the cloak of billowing. I'm gonna call out to Farron. Farron!
It's billowing, not bellowing.
Billowing. If you keep correcting me on it,
So stay out of spite. Careful.
yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna hear me call you.
Yeah, I responded. Hi.
We're going into Olash. Do you need anything?
Yes. Oh, 10 tons of steel. Thank you.
10 tons?
That's what. Wait, how much? Oh, 1,000 pounds. Was it 10,000 pounds? Did he ask for, or was it 1,000 pounds?
He
Arthur made a
asked,
very
he
particular
asked for
request.
half a ton,
Oh.
which is I think
On the
about
steel.
Alright,
Like, I have it with me.
Do you?
By the way, I would like to say that technically Farron does possess all of the gold from the Dragon's Den. So if,
You just gotta send him off without any money.
So
other than Leo and Karis's cut, remember?
Yeah, that's entirely accurate.
So in that case, how much you gonna give?
Well, are they coming over to the forge, or they just continue yelling down the hall? Like, they hear?
Oh, I just go zoom there, grab whatever you give me, and zoom back.
In my estimation, actually, I can just ask Arthur this. She's more accustomed to buying materials like this. Actually, no, I've bought materials like this before, just not in stock. I don't know, I looked to Arthur. How much do you think they'll charge?
Probably a lot. Not a lot of people ask for half a ton of steel.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. How much is a lot?
Plus, I also need to stock
I-
whatever the kitchen's doing.
I don't know, maybe a 2,000 gold?
Mm.
I don't know the prices of your empire.
Alright. Kind of reaches into a bag, pulls out one, then two, then three, then 4 and 5. And he holds it out and hands you 10,000 gold.
Just
Just
very-
in case. Bring back the leftovers. Yeah, got your tongue?
No. Oh, thank you. We'll get that going for you.
Aye.
All right then. I think unless anybody else has anything else, I guess we'll be off. Well then, we're going to go reconvene with Leo and go and Olaf.
give me a second.
Good luck, luck.
Yes, give me a second. Okay, so as you gave no real direction to
Well, the mark. Where?
yes, you didn't give like, oh yeah, I want to go to this one specific stall. It gave
Oh,
a general
yeah.
area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
we have
we don't
three
really
places.
have an area. to
I know,
give.
I know. You know.
3 destinations to do.
I'll be right
Listen,
back.
we're going to Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Tesco,
And maybe Home
Subway.
Depot.
Subway. Gotta have a-
Lowe's. We're gonna stop at Subway for lunch.
Anyway, so put simply, as a handful of times before, it takes you but a few moments and poof, you are, unironically, in just manifested in an alleyway, just. But in the alleyway that you are is not empty, as there are about 12 teenagers, children of all kinds of ages, as they seem to be playing something. Something huddled up in the corner, until they just see all of you just pop out of nowhere. As one of the youngest just kind of points to all of them. The alleyway monsters are here, run! And they all just fucking scatter into the street. In the street, you do see almost immediately, just, you do immediately see stalls of merchandise, the clangs of smithies, the commotion of shouts, and, well, haggling. You assume you are in Olange, but you definitely are somewhere with a lot of business happening. So, To keep it simple, what would you like from the market?
Books. Are there stalls that sell books? I'd assume that they'd at least be close together.
Investigation.
Because competition.
Anything else for Brit?
Brit is going to check for food supplies like meats and
Another
herbs,
investigation check.
all that good shite.
Brit as well, investigation.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
The dice just adore me, don't they?
Not much better for me.
So, from Sergal's perspective, it takes you to. First of all, are you together or are you just split? Fucking scatter.
Let's do it together.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
then in that
together
case,
would be
Sergal, you
better
can have
idea.
advantage. You are with Leo.
Hey.
So, as for the food, it is one of the most common, accessible things in the market. Vegetables, fruit, meat, spices, both simple, common, and exotic. You can find at least 20 plus species of meat, from simple, humble pork, chicken, to something more refined as boar, elk, and even lizard folk. But I don't
Damn.
really.
Eat the cannibal. Is it cannibalism? Who knows?
As for Sergal, it takes you a few minutes to wander, and you do eventually find essentially a section of the market where just books. Open stalls, freshly printed books, pages, pamphlets, all with set price, a bunch of words, a bunch of titles, a bunch of offers. Can you roll me an investigation with advantage again? Or would you like for Leo to?
I think Leo is going to be better at this than I am.
Let me roll for it. Here we go. 2. He looks for the books, wanders, acknowledges the prices, and then looks at you, Sergalus. You're the one who mentioned about books. Not literature for studying, but books of trivial knowledge, the collections of tales, poems. He grabs one of the book, puzzledly looks at it, flips the pages, immediately shuts it at you, smut, places the book carefully down. Behind the counter, sits on a chair an elderly looking human, seemingly just listening to your conversation, lazily, not really caring what you say or comment, but she has this simple smile on her face, seemingly just enjoying the nice weather, nothing more.
Do I see any other... What? Like, they're not for studying, but what, like, is it fiction? Historical fiction? Is there stuff other than smut on this
Yeah.
stall? Or is
Uh,
this just the 50 Shades of Doron stall?
Christ, no. Looking upon it, one of the things that just spawned to you immediately would be a cool thing for Farron as a gift. You remember when he was helped you when born, if he even remembers when he was born, is a very simple book in black leather and silver letters. The Tales of the Archipelago. Offered by K.A.S. And while you look at the first page, it does confirm your suspicions that it is essentially a collection of tales from one of the most recent saviors of the world, bards recounting their adventure. It was part of it from the very beginning, very end. There's some other pieces of literature. There's literally just one book just described the collections of Dorian Empire Vistas, which has been published by the Dorian Art Royal Gallery, or Dorian Royal Art Gallery. We're just literally just a bunch of vistas of wilds and architecture, where you assume is across the entire world. Some just very simple, random names. There's nothing that would say, ah yes, the ways of arcane, fundamental knowledge of magic.
It's an art book, is what you're saying.
Yes. There's nothing like knowledge, like you could learn something from it. But
It's the kind of book you'd find in a homeschooler's house.
yeah,
I can totally see my mother owning that book. So basically what Sergal is going to want to do is he is going to pick out a good selection of just assorted books. He's definitely going to get that Archipelago one, but frankly, as long as it's smut, he doesn't see any reason to not get a book. Get as many books as he can.
So you would get one of each.
Yeah.
So in total you can get 30 different books, which will be 3 gold pieces each. That's the same price for everything, except for the one art book. That is 6 gold. So 96 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'm not carrying any of the gold, so I'm gonna kind of like look to Brit.
She's gonna look at that one specific book. Look at you.
The smut? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see which one of the. There are several.
Why-
There are several.
do you have a
Yes, there are.
table of smut books?
Mind you, eventually you will realize this, but nevertheless, that is not the case.
Is there Archipelago fan fiction? Is there a 50 Shades of Doron?
Man, I'd rather not disclose this information, but.
Furry shades of Ken. For shades of Ken.
How do I say this? It is the book that Leo picked up, right? There's no real title, it's just a simple letter book, but there's plenty of the same, there are plenty of like the same letters, like leather covers that are indiscriminate. There's one distinct notion on the front that kind of depicts like that it's actually a book and not just a blank book with nothing. It symbolizes in this yellowish, maybe goldenish colors, two cats seemingly sitting next to each other. Brett, you look at the book, the two cats on the front, and the title is actually on the first page, and it's called Cat Talk. Can you roll an investigation check? Because you don't really find a summary anyway. So if you want to peer in the book and try to figure out.
I'm going to stop Britt. Hold on. Perhaps we should buy the book before we look at it too much.
Fine.
That is also 3 gold
That's
pieces.
Hey,
Don't-
we are in.
So that would be 90 gold, you said, right? Or
99.
93.
No, 99, because
By
it
the
would
way-
be 3 normal books, the one with vistas, and the smut book. Well, Brit.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
This is Circle's thing. Oh. And then I'm gonna say, Circle, by the way, we're in Olash. Might as well check in on that Griffin Lake.
The temple, right.
The Griffin Gal.
And Sergal just completely ignores you after you start mentioning the Griffin Gal and starts heading towards the temple.
just fucking walks, just fucking up.
Well, first we need to figure out a place to put all these books.
And
We need to put
probably
these books away.
No, we have a spare. We have a spare.
Leo just kind of
We-
looks. You do realize,
Bag
he
of
just
holding.
he just extends his hand, the bag of holding it.
Yeah. Ah,
There you
excellent.
go.
That'll work.
Also points at you, Sergal, and he holds his gaze like almost a demented old man. But he seems to look something at his pocket, and eventually he finds something and just literally chucks it at you. It is a soft piece of marble that is almost like it's a long stone, like a long a skidding stone. You know, the ones that you chuck
A
it.
skipping,
Yeah, skipping stone.
Yeah.
Yes,
smooth, roundish.
yes. If you need help, this will be the quickest way to contact.
I kind of hold it up and nod.
He
So
nods
it's a
back.
sending stone.
Yes, but also works in extremely well as a focus for Delbert. Don't lose it.
I won't. And
Honest.
Alright. Okay, off to the temple.
Are you going to the temple?
No, you're still accompanying me for the rest of the shopping.
Oh,
We still need to get this. Still need to find the steel. In order for the steel, as well as food.
sigh of long suffering.
We can just skip over the food, but because you could just give me the number.
The food is basically just like, yes, I buy food.
Yes.
Okay, you spend this much gold.
Yeah. Just shoot me that number and I'll dock it.
How much?
we're
How much?
looking
How much
for-
food are you trying to buy?
Well, I mean, depends on how big the storage room was for the kitchen.
Jesus fucking Christ! The storage room is good enough to feed several hundred people.
Let's go. Let's go about a sixth of that.
6 of that.
So about,
roll me two
90,
things. Roll me
80 or 90?
persuasion and roll me investigation.
Persuasion and investigation. I'll go investigation first. Can I have advantage?
Um,
If
go
Sergo
for
wants to help, yeah, go for it.
go for.
For investigation. Nope, I did that wrong. It's probably the other way around. Right? No. Shit. Oh, I get it. I got it.
Christ, come on, let it work.
I'm being. No. Okay. Well, then we'll just go the other way.
Man.
I don't know the commands well enough, so
Here. I know what you did wrong.
here. There we go. We got 10 for investigation.
Oh no. Vision.
Oh yeah, and plus I have that thing that I haven't used since I haven't done persuasion in a while. I think I was at 20.
20? 30? Jesus fucking Christ.
So now that's up again.
Britt, that
Ah.
is what you were looking for. You need to specify how many you're keeping higher.
Ah, okay, yeah. Okay. Any hoozle.
Oh boy. So, it takes about half an hour, and you essentially get not all the, like, you know, simple goods, but also like the ones that are not exactly perishable. You know, flour, grain, and other stuff. They remain longer. You essentially acquire yourself about 500 rations worth of food, spices, and whatnot for about 150 gold pieces. Cause holy shit, with a perception score of 30. Oh.
Okay. Great. That, and now for the metal.
Oh.
Yep. We're gonna have to go and see if we can't get a big order of it.
Investigation, perception, persuasion.
Okay, so
And you look for half a ton of steel.
investigation. We'll do that. Perception, and then
No, perception, not perception. Just persuasion. I always mix up persuasion, perception. So.
Oh, sweet. And since I succeeded that one,
Jesus
I get
fucking-
another fucking plus.
Oh yeah, because you have the fucking Paragon thing. Yeah, I forgot.
You'll. This
Is
is. I think this is max, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
you basically, I think you get +2 modifier 3 times. Then he said,
Yeah. This
Oh,
is
boy.
this
Yeah.
is about.
dude, this is like free farming for you. Like, yeah, let me get a +6 on the. So you, essentially, you know, you find several smithies that sell steel, but they sell in smaller quantities. You know, 40 pounds, 50 pounds. Give me Well, you know, half a ton is about 4,500 pounds. It's a lot. It's a lot of pounds. So, essentially, you go and essentially sell out most of the market's steel in a matter of like 10 to 15. Not because they're like, you know, that's all they can have, but that's because they just prepared that much. Because, you know, steel is not exactly. They have items that are made of steel, they're making of steel, but they don't exactly make steel here. They get from warehouses and whatnot, for prices and the contracts and whatnot. And eventually, well, you come to this conclusion that you need several bags of holding. Like several bags of holding. That's a lot of fucking pounds, but good for you that you have Leo that can provide you a lot of them. A lot of them. So, you in fact do take about an hour additionally, or the steel itself to get a half a ton. And it takes you about 3,000 gold pieces until Farron's quota of the metal has been quenched. And you made about 70 blacksmiths very happy. As for some you sold a week's worth, for some you sold a season's worth of steel in a blink of an eye. So yeah.
Yeah, that was successful. Well, that's everything off the list. You wanted to go and see something, then?
Sergal nods. I believe I've told everyone about this before, but there's that Temple of Lathander that Karok first met, what name is it she goes by? Inca? First met her at, and,
I hope to all that is good that you did not just say that in public.
Inca isn't a... There is more than one Inca, like, when it's the Empress of
we're
the...
We're not doing it out in public. Just talking.
Also, mind you, there's like bar everything. If you mention like, just nobody's gonna be. Oh, you mean God Empress? You're not.
Yeah,
You're not
that
the
one random person who hasn't been seen for thousands of years.
It's just like, man, like you're not in a conglomerate of like zealots, just waiting, just for you to speak. You're
Never
literally in the
knows
busy
listening.
marketplace.
Fair would definitely be the person who would chip up any guy that say like, "Oh, you met."
So would Karok, but... Anyways. I
So,
still haven't really gotten a bead on that place. And since we were in town, might as well pay them another visit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's worth checking out while we're here.
So, you reach the Temple of Lathander. But a handful. Not a handful. No. Fuck, I'm thinking of a different thing. Roll me a d10. It takes a while for each friend. So 9. Either account for what? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Well. Everybody, please roll me up.
Brit roll with advantage.
Okay.
So, as you wander the streets, pretty easy to not even ask, just everybody knows who has been lived here, where to go. It takes you about 40 or so minutes travel. And the church Ollivander is within distance. Within sea distance, maybe a few more minutes stride and you will be there by the front. However, Britt, you have a sensation of a deja vu. As you go look for the streets, most of the streets are of stone-laid buildings, a bit more fanciful as you go towards the church location, cleaner and whatnot. And as you look through, just surrounding, just staring, you look at a 3-story building, which is almost like a copy to most of them. It has a balcony on the first floor. It kind of oversees like the street, and you see an individual there that you need to take a second glance to look. You remember, oh, so many weeks ago, you saw a familiar person, actually the same exact person, in a building, or he entered the building and it exploded. The person in question is about 30 feet from the ground and he's about 600 feet away from you. As you're in the street, just kind of surrounded by people. It's the dead of day. Everybody has stuff to do. It's the rush. Yeah. What would you like to do, Britt? If anything.
Well, this is definitely the place, right?
Oh no, this is not the church.
Oh,
This is not the church. This is walking, like you're close to the church, but as you're walking towards, you just spot a familiar person.
I'm just gonna keep an eye out and act like it's nothing. See what comes of it.
The man looks through the street as you basically about 150 feet in front of his house or town. You gotta take a left so you can continue towards the church. As you go there and kind of turn the corner, he looks around again and the street kind of sighs and walks inside into the house. And without any problems, you do make the Church of Lathander. Last time you've been here, Circle, there was been a congregation, a large commotion. This time, not really. There are people walking in and out. Church, not really changed, but yeah. Is there at present. So, ancient, what would you think?
Well, first of all, we need to walk in. Sergal will kind of glance at Britt to see if she's gonna come in with him or stay outside.
Oh, I'm coming in.
Alright. And so Sergal will walk in the front door, not really sure what to look for, but he definitely has a critical eye in the place. Like, does... Problem is, I don't know what to look for. Circle will go in and just see what kind of crowd is in there currently. Like, are there? You said there weren't a lot of people, but like, what kind of people are in there?
You can see about 60 people, like in a place that could hold up to 1,000, maybe more. Well, most of them are in pews. Some of them are wandering. Some are basically in a corner, not a corner, but like a section of with the statues of Lathander, or one of the depictions of it. You see people kneeling down and saying a prayer. Um, most people take it are older people. They're 50, 60, dwarves, elves, humans. Aarakocra, the backseat. A few. You're probably the youngest in in church at the moment. And also, you don't really see any of churches full. They seem to just, seems to be quiet.
Sergal will sit down at probably around the center of the pews. And for lack of more guidance, Sergal is gonna pray to Lathander. Specifically about this church. He's gonna ask for guidance on what is going on here. Because he is unsure because his friends, people who he trusts, have told him things that don't really match up with how Sergal sees Lathander's mode of operation is. And so Sergal will quietly, silently really, pray about that.
Can you roll me? Good.
I'll be damned.
Jesus fucking Christ! What's with you
He do
people?
he do be praying though.
You do be praying. Holy shit. Okay. Oh yeah, mind you, Leo also stayed behind. He's like, just gonna chill. So as you take the pews and you take the blessing, and you ask for guidance, or I guess for an answer to your question, all of a sudden, it's all the same, the amens, the whatnot, but all of a sudden your pew, right, creaks immensely. And for a second, you kind of get a bit discomforted, like why the creaking started, as you realize something sits beside. Also, gets on its knees and supplements sound as still kneeling. It looks to its left to choose. It is an elf, a nun, but something is odd about it. Something is, how to say this? There's human. There is human with emotion and thought, but beyond, and it's pale
There's something
blue
below
eyes.
it.
Yes, there's something there. As the man slightly nods his head, as it asks you, "What is of the matter, child? You seem troubled."
Divine sense.
This, you did divine sense before. You got your retina almost burned when you first entered here, and wanna be,
Oh yeah.
yeah, burned. You sense the similar glow about it. It's not as blinding, not as provocateur, more contained. As you assume, as this is consecrated ground, the entire church, the surrounding, the presence of celestial energies, would be but a pale, dim air to the presence of what is literally away from you, light.
Sergal's eyebrows furrow a bit beneath his hood as he thinks on a response. I think I am unsure of the way forward.
At my
And
time
unsure of who I can trust.
the man sighed. It is but a crossroad. You're not the only one who Then again, it looks face first, or get straightforward. End of the giant dusk setting will come, but after each dusk, dawn sighs back at you and do I know play a full your insecurity as well. Do not try to we're somewhat equal on an opposite. Elephant scrum. Only by the choices. You have that be gazed down at the dawn of water, heritage, my ability. Pillar, permanence, prolong us. Wait, speak. Respond.
Sergal nods slowly. And what of this place then? It
This
is
church, city, surrounding lands, this world. Shrugs. The creature shrugs at you. Depends on the people. Will some huddle out of despair? Will some, even in meager, will try to stand? But will some of them prevail? Yes, some of them die. Depends on the people. Fate. Time strikes. You must ask upon yourself. When, Malay, the land will be ours and hopeless. Will you falter? Or will you be those who have lost their gather around?
couldn't imagine it any other way.
And I would like to ask again, what troubles?
The future. We have been given. We have been given a war that I do not think I truly understand. We have been told to trust without truly knowing. And then been given ample reason to not trust. Sergal sighs, kind of leaning back and looking the... You said he was an elf, right? Not half-elf? Just looking the elf in the eye. It feels like everyone else is gearing for war, and I feel frankly unprepared on all fronts.
It is difficult to see, find, officially, so much falls upon burdens, consequences, as orders from those who can both physically, but you are here, present. You have, you're not a single, of their own aspiration, their own boy, but all of you share opposite of the burden of it. You reach dawn when all is over, finding it. A down weapon. Then you can think of why, who, what. Or it's a preparation. Questioning why you take track of will help. It will only cripple your soul. This is the time of war, but after war there is peace. Fine, just as for power, power will come and goes. Throughout the age, throughout the I've seen plenty of mortals who have ascended the rank. Bit of a offender. a handful. So personal guards and it is a grueling task. Resemblance, it could but through any suffering souls from the stand. The elf finally. Um,
Circle looks kind of frustrated at the vagueness of the answers, but he nods a little.
you show your disappointment. Do you try to show?
It's not trying to show disappointment, but likely whatever deception rolls Sergal could make about concealing his feelings, I doubt could hit what he's probably rolling. So, yeah, Sergal is frustrated at the vagueness of the answers, and while he understands the concepts and widely agrees with them, he finds them unsatisfying.
Elf. Seriously, for I see. See the you. Your eyes. See the discomfort. Let me ask you again. Is there anything, or if you wish to explain weaknesses of me the way I can answer?
There is a long pause. Sergal looks up. Thinking hard about his question. Can I trust Tarumak to lead me into this war?
I'm not long. Oh, still.
There
The
seem to
elf-
be two people who really, like, when rolls happen around them, they decide something. And from experience, it seems to be either me or Karok. Rolls just happen.
The elves' gaze hardened. The softness of a Gentile. Old man changed to almost a battle scarred as he looks deep gazed people. You are a spell ever. Your uncle, to protect his own interests, done with it. He decided to take half and nurture you. He will die for dawn. Even he has done more than most mortals and even a handful not be capable. If I what he is for everyone is doing is of the regret and for the love of the one that he will see. The gaze, slow, soft. The glare fades. Feel there is something stuck in. Slowly, the finger was stuck in your skull. Slowly, cracking.
Circle looks thoughtful at that. and stands up. This has been an insightful conversation. I don't know who exactly you are, but thank you. And Sergal is going to look to Brit and then walk out.
In your head, here, almost like bells. My name is Adam. One of the oldest of eight. Yet, never did I reach the rank. And I shall see you when dusk setteth and twilight. You try to look back.
Once Sergal is out, he kind of turns on his heel and stares Brit down.
Mind you, give me a second. Brit.
Yes.
It's been like a good 10 minutes. And, Sergo hasn't walked out. And you're basically, you and Constantine are alone different. And not Constantine. Fucking Leo are outside basically waiting. And Leo would just casually just go. Have you ever played cards?
Couple times.
Can you roll me? Before you act. He would ask, would you like to play?
I'm sure one or two games while we wait.
I would like you to roll me an intelligence check and insight check. Not insight. Just intelligence and a sleight of hand check.
Intelligence and sleight of hand. Oh joy of freaking joys! Alright, well, here's the intelligence. Actually, wrong area. Voodoo. No. Yeah. 8 for intelligence, 6 for sleight of hand.
You. So when you said cards, you thought the regular cards, but no, he pulled out decks of creatures with text and random things to tap, to turn, to sacrifice. Everything is a mush, and you're kind of just trying to figure out.
Absolutely just owned.
Yeah, and you get absolutely just fucking crashed until eventually Sergal re-emerges and just sees you, just approaches.
It's very unwise to upset. Get me upsetty spaghetti. Next time, teach me the rules. Oh, Sergo.
Well, you see, this one is the pot of greed. That one you can draw two. You can use.
Summon another pot of greed. Anyways, how did it go?
I went in expecting an answer, and I came out with 5 different ones.
Oh, answers are still answers. Were you able to make any sense of it?
The church? Not a bit.
And
Of other things,
answers?
Sergal kind of shrugs. I think it would be better to talk of it at home.
Okay.
But first, I do have a call. And I look pointedly at Britt.
Do you have anything else you'd like to do before we head back?
I do. What about you two? Or are you just going to keep playing? And Sergal kind of looks at the splay of cards across whatever surface they're using,
I think I'm
whatever
good.
that is.
Depends on if you need a wingman. Or
I think I'm good. What I'm wondering is where she is.
Well,
At least I know where to start.
we can at
I'll-
least get you over there. That way we're close.
Meet back here in, say, an hour?
Sure.
Alright.
Hey,
Sergal is
Nathan
going-
is back.
Hey, Nathan!
Bruh, did you get hit? Did something happen?
I told
you kill?
Rex ahead of time that I would be absent
Wait.
for the session today.
Wait,
I
when?
knew it.
Oh, what?
Seems legit. We can talk about it later.
I had said, didn't Nathan say something about not being able to make it this session?
I absolutely did not remember. I'm a stunted wood. Anyway, continue onward.
I am going to head towards the stables, the guard stable.
Where the griffins were.
Yes. On Griffin Bank.
On the griffin map. Are you gonna be flying there?
Yes.
Are you gonna be flying high?
Yes.
All the yeses. Can you roll me a d10 and is Brit pursuing, or you wanna go back and stash all the food you have acquired and all the steel you have brought?
I mean, Sergal
I mean,
specifically
technically he
asked.
has
to
that.
go
We
follow.
could technically go do that. Sergal does have that stone for the focusing as well, so we could technically do that and then come right back if need be.
So, oh boy. So Nathan, are you just gonna be a spectator? You want to do something for the first day? Because technically, it's been like two in-game hours.
2 in-game hours. What's the current state on the cat? Still sitting there in
Yes,
its
cat is
diapers?
chilling. Cat is chilling.
Still not having asked any questions. Very nice. Where is everyone else right now?
Sergal, Britt, and Leo are basically on a trip. Everybody
We're in
else
Olash.
and everybody else, um, in the fort, in your little hold, and of course, Farron is with Arthur as he's getting like a nice little he's getting a seminar on guns and how they work.
Okay. Is that conversation happening in the forges? Or at the
Yes.
forges?
Yes.
Have the forges since cleared up of the dragon eggs?
No.
No, the eggs are still there.
In that case, I'm going to check on those for now. Still clear in color, everything fine.
Yeah, nothing is different.
I'm going
Okay.
to be sitting there for a while.
So,
You just
So-
hear Arthur explaining smithing concepts of modern weapons to Farron. The entire time you sit and
riveting, inlaid, fucking backblast, operation. Okay, so I need to ask you, Britt. Are you gonna go back? Or are you gonna try to literally fly and chase Circle?
I'm not going to specifically chase Circle. I'm gonna be
It's called tailing at a safe distance.
exactly. We're not. We have all that stuff in the bag of holding, so it'll be fine.
I'm going to be honest, from personal experience, flying objects aren't very subtle. Griffin
Yeah.
PTSD. Sadly, erect is the only thing that's the reference.
Well, I'm fast on ground and on in the air, so whichever.
So what's the deal?
We're still there. We're just not with Circle.
So where are you gonna go with Leo then?
We're gonna go find a nice quiet spot for him to do some reading. If he wants.
Are you just gonna go with the smut?
No. What was the smut book called again? Just
Cat talk.
cat talk? Then Nathan needs to get it.
Oh god. I just realized I'm impatient with you for this.
He needs some advice.
Hey. So in that case,
I will be reserving my right to smite you if you actually do bring me that book.
I'm not the one doing it. Britt's the one who picked it up.
So, roll me a d10 circle, and Nathan, you just gonna just examine just butt eggs and do.
Keeping an eye on them for now. I assume no updates really, just same procedure as before.
Hear the discussion between Baron and Arthur, discussing why you shouldn't just why loading up a musket full of gunpowder isn't exactly power, but a higher chance of the musket floating in your hands. Pieces of metal just embedding into your body.
Oh. You think if we magically reinforce the barrel, we could get away with it. You see him going back.
I mean,
I'm gonna start listening in on that as well.
You know what's
At
the
the
best
moment I
part?
see Arthur
You know-
panicking on the point.
You know what's the best part? When you, Farron, suggest something to be magically enhanced, right? To just not do it. To him, you sound like a child who, like, engineer explains like a very like like okay, this needs to be pressurized. It's very delicate. And it's like, but what if you just make it stronger? It's just like so that's I don't know, material, just magic. Like, well,
You can tell Farron's very used to having the power of bullshit magic on her side.
Engineering degree? Who needs that? I have cantrips.
He isn't a bad smith, but working with explosive powders isn't exactly smithing, it's alchemy.
yeah. Anyway,
Or it would be closer to my forte, so that's why I would be listening in as well.
Okay, so, yeah, you fly towards the stable, whatever, for the griffins, and you got your first taste. Getting road and out. Good times, good times. Hmm. You do arrive there, but don't get and you land. For a few moments, you see that it's entirely empty. Until you can see in the stables themselves several people seemingly just or just kind of relaxing, not really busy with. And you do see one familiar griffin. The one that you had a very nice and close and definitely not an almost deadly encounter with, fast
It wasn't
asleep.
deadly. I was showing off.
I remember. And it's her jumping off a griffin to look cool.
Jumping off a griffin to impress the girl. No big deal.
The crunch sound. Oh my god. What's the best part?
I still don't know what that shield does.
Yeah, also, I can clearly imagine the fall damage from Final Fantasy 4. That's the way your kneecaps went.
Sound.
It's crunch.
I'm gonna go search for that. If I find it, can you add it to the soundboard for the server?
You're the
Circle would have been
mod.
a dragoon for a different life.
Good point.
Gonna make me. Oh, yeah, what are you gonna do?
So I see. Is it Lamb that I see, or Tella's
No,
actual griffin?
No, it's land. It's the big white bastard.
Yeah, I still have the. Circle lets out a sigh, kind of smiling at the sleeping bird as he dismounts his own bird. And he looks around. Does he see Tella, like, anywhere? Just in the area?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Does Sergal see Tella anywhere nearby?
You don't know. Really have no clue. Like it's like last time you've been here, it wasn't really like busy, but it's like even the quarter of there were like 7 griffins, like 20 people. Just they're all basically asleep. Mind you, it's like midday. It's warm. It's nice. Nothing rainy.
It's pretty much the middle of their work hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even better.
Is that the Minecraft or is it really?
Yes. Yes. That's the Minecraft sound. Couldn't find the Final Fantasy one, but that one's just as great.
I like the fact that the reverse dice roller perspective is the only one with draconic blood or draconic blessings.
True.
Full circle and tell our both teeth. Anyway, onward.
Circle will walk up to Lamb, like, definitely making sure his presence is known. Because it is a bad idea to sneak up on a sleeping griffin.
Good truth. Nevertheless, it is seemingly very.
Circle will kneel down and pat Lamb on the head.
Animal
softly.
handling.
Whoops. That first roll was a nat 20.
Not
though.
quite what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Hold up. I'll do it again. You don't get to do this.
2d20. Okay.
It has absolutely nothing to do with the sea, but it just. I feel like it's one of your party members, but I don't know which one. Anyway. So you hit it, Ratchet, and all of a sudden you hear station of air intensify from its nostril. As all of a sudden, slowly but surely, one of its eyes slowly but surely opens. There at you. It seems to be a bit confused about what you are. Doesn't seem to be hostile, alright. It's kind of eyes. Just kind of leans a bit closer towards you. Yeah.
Circle continues the pets, just taking his time. He's pretty much stalling to see if Tella comes around in the next, like, half an hour.
Wait, what did you say?
Circle is basically stalling for time to see if Tella comes around in the next, like, half hour.
I just so wanted to make sure. Oh boy. Are you just gonna be like just petting him for half an hour?
Probably not just petting him for half an hour.
just it's like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, pretty much. Just kind of quite visibly stalling, waiting for somebody. Not really socially adept enough to
Time
ask.
passes slowly. I cannot. Ah, this is great. Oh, this is great.
I just realized I still have that wood carving that I was doing on, like, session 10. I
Yeah.
nearly forgot about that.
This is... Man. Can everyone just agree that this is so great? Ah, man. Okay. Okay. So... Would you just be like, what would you be doing? Like, for how long would you be like petting? Any like
There would be rounds of Sergal petting Lamb, getting up, hopping onto his griffin, flying in a circle for a little bit, and then coming back down.
Oh my god.
I'm not even lying. It's so stupid.
It sounds so desperate, too. Oh,
it's
man.
just like half an hour. It's not terribly long.
I know, but it sounds so desperate nevertheless.
It really does.
Man, okay, so I would
Sergal
say
said he'd be out here for an hour, so
I would say as oh my god, I just can't. So, you pet. Shut up. You pet. You fly. See nothing. You see not even the griffin in the sky. You go down to pet again. This time, however, you do see that one of the stable ants wakes up. They're all young humans. When they wakes up, it just goes, sorry, you were waiting for something?
Yes, a friend of mine. I've been traveling a bit and wanted to say hi. I'm guessing Tella must be on her rounds, or...
She should be back in an hour or so. He takes a few steps out, stretches a bit up in the sky. Give an hour take, and she should be back. You're not gonna tell anybody, right? There's literally... We gotta be doing something.
Sergal grins and shakes his head.
That's a good boy.
I completely feel your pain.
He gives
and he pulls out like a little wood carving of a griffin. It's quite clearly a carving of lamb. Like, I rolled a nat 20 on making this little carving, so. And he kind of hands it to the stable hand. Could you tell Tella this is from me?
Sure. Do you have a name, or you like who? Like, he squints his eyes, clears his ears a bit. What were you saying?
Sergal, my name.
As you're having this sensation, all of a sudden you hear flap of wings, heavy wings, and then the sound of a thud. As you look at the stable hand, and all of a sudden his whole demeanor changes, and he gets a bit petrified. All of a sudden he looks around, grabs a random broom, and just starts sweeping. Just coughs all day. Sorry, there's nobody of any people around here. As all of a sudden, you can hear the clangs of what seems to be metallic boots. As basically where you came in, a sudden silhouette blocks your path outwards. A silhouette of a tiefling but not of the four you see. This is a tiefling of red color, gleaming orange eyes, about 6 foot. In less dressed for normal occasions, but more like she's about to go to war. She looks at the stable hand with almost this perverse conviction, about to say something until her eyes lock onto you. She squints at you. He looks up and down at you. I've never seen you before. Got a name?
I do. Do you?
Of course I do. Do you know where you are?
Well, I am in the stables of Olash.
Yes, very perceptive. But who or to whom these stables owns them? No?
No, I can't say that I do.
I see. She all of a sudden her face with its almost semi-genuine, semi-deceitful smile and walks up to you. My name is Yaria, and this stables and all of its griffins belonged. And I see you also are a rider, but not fit anything. They do have a griffin outside. You roll me a deception check. Or you're gonna just say, you're just gonna stay quiet.
Hold on, what is this deception check for?
She wants to figure you out. Who are you? She doesn't want to ask you, she wants to see. She's be gazing at you, trying to seek out answers with her eyes.
Sergal matches her gaze quite confidently and shrugs a little bit with a modest smile. Blah, blah. I am a novice. Been trying to learn it as best as I can.
You must have quite the coins. You took up griffin riding as a hobby.
Sergal's finding it a little hard to disguise like a smile, although he's trying to keep like at least a shred of modesty. Well, I am an adventurer and come into coin every once in a while. What's it to you?
You take shield look. Eyes you. Smile. Goes out halfway through the door and just stares. But presumably at your griffin up.
While she's outside, I quickly pull out a silver coin and toss it to the stable hand. Just like as thanks for the general information and willingness to help, and follows. What was that name?
Second. Harry. as just kind of, she doesn't even like fully steps out. She just kind of halfway through the door, just presumably at your griffin. Just when it comes to griffins, tales, where they come from, where they raised, they usually know everything for a handful of regions. But this one came out of the blue. Was generally curious. And looks at the griffin a bit. It's her hand. Or is it just a conjuration? In that case, a good choice. Too many take the guise of a horse with wings. Is their choice because they have no imagination.
Sergal nods as she talks about it. Says it's a. She questions if it's a conjuration, and just says, "Actually, it was one of your, what I presume to be one of your griffins, Lamb over there, who inspired me to make that choice."
There is a genuine warm smile across her. The Lamb's name. There's a bit of pride. One of the oldest, one of the most stubborn, but one of the most friendliest as well. So, what exactly you're looking for?
Actually, I was looking for a friend who last I met was here. Although it seems she won't be back for another hour, so I had planned on handing the stable hand a gift for her that I had made. Although, I guess, in truth, it would be better suited for you, seeing as Lamb is your griffin, as Sturgill pulls out the wood carving of Lamb again.
Wait. So what did you toss to the stable hand?
A silver coin.
No, you said
This is like a...
Oh, you didn't.
No,
even
I
actually...
tossed a coin
No, before
the stable hand. I hadn't handed it to him.
Okay.
We were in the middle of talking about that when Yaria came in. I was handing your stable hand this gift when you walked in.
See.
As I said, I'm a bit of a adventurer, and I was going to be leaving town not long after I hopefully met Tella. So, I'm not really able to give it to her in person. He kind of pauses for a moment. Not really sure how to finish his thought.
So, Ella, right?
Sturgill nods.
He scratches her a bit. Looks you up and down again. Then gives this. Can you roll me a deception check? For the sole reason that she's trying to perceive what is she.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
She knows.
She fucking knows. She looks at you, gives a mischievous grin. You fancy her,
Circle
don't
avoids eye
you?
contact. Sorry, what was that?
You fancy her, don't you?
Very, very much avoiding eye contact. And what of it?
If this was a comedy skit,
It would be
she
so bad.
would look back, like she'd turn around, just look at the camera with a fucking grin. And just turn back at you. Oh, no worry. It's not like
Don't forget the eyebrow wiggle.
oh, it's not like half the stable's fancy. Clearly, you don't have any competition.
Well, if
Jeez. I feel like you're a bit too soft. But that could be see.
Sergal kind of straightens up at the insinuation that he's soft. But he nods curtly. If I could just be sure that this gets to her, I would be quite grateful.
Oh, you can wait for her. She's gonna be back in, give or take. And then she's gonna be for an hour. But seeing as you have such great interest in her, I can let her off for the rest of the day. Can you roll me an insight check?
Is she matchmaking? Or is she just trying to get me in trouble?
Oh boy. It is both and neither. You realize that this lady probably very much like gossip. The petty squabbles. By letting her go for a bit to go with you, she might hear about all the bullshit you have done. What kind of embarrassment, what kind of conflict build, and she would be very pleased to hear.
She can see Sergal kind of hem and haw over it a little.
She sighs. Oh, what's the matter? Getting a bit soft? Are you so busy?
All right, that solves it. Okay. This is gonna be great.
Rolling to hits.
Rolling to it. Oh, Jesus fucking.
That's a natural 20.
Oh no.
Sergal kind of grits his teeth and says, "Let me make a little bit of arrangements with my party.
Can you roll me? Simple performance. Jesus fucking Christ! The sudden determination is quite visible. And you can clearly see from the previous insight check that the opinion of the red tiefling in front of you has changed from you being, softy,
Kind of dorky."
yes, to, something meaningful. Nevertheless, she will intend to bully you still. And she looks down at you, not down at you, just looks at you and just says,
We're the same height.
well, in that case, I have 2 advices for you. You have 35 minutes. Purple orchids. A whole banquet of it costs about 5 gold pieces. If you get the coin, looks up and down at you, which seems you have. That's her favorite. And keep an eye contact, Bryson. Say something meaningful. Now skedaddle.
Circle nods, gives her a genuine smile and a nod, and he's going to the flower store. He gets on his griffin and flies off. On the flight, on the way, he's going to use that stone to message Leo. Hey Leo, so turns out I may be in Olash for the rest of the day. If you and Britt want, you can go back to the base and pick me up this evening.
Alright. Well, Leo relays the information. He just received the information that Britt is gonna be Sergal's gonna be preoccupied. And he's gonna come back tomorrow.
Alrighty. Well, then we're going back to base.
Okay. So, with that being said and done, it's been 3 hours. And Sergo, I will need you this week, because rather than spend a handful of hours on your little adventure of what you want to do, we're gonna have a one-on-one session, yes. And we shall see. Yes. You're the one that is gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna be done the evening, you know. And then next Saturday around this time, everything will be resolved. So, with that
It's going to end up being tomorrow at noon.
And with the ton of steel, we are one step closer to Donka.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, anything you wanna say before I'm shutting this shit down? Go.
Smite.